Ladies and gentlemen, it is an important.
Very much for having me here in Hyderabad. Your weather is as warm as the people of Hyderabad, so it's one of the best cities in the country to come to. So thank you very much, first of all, for having me here in Hyderabad. Before anything else, I think rather than me, we should be celebrating young Eshanvi. So she deserves another round of applause for what she's achieved. You know, I do a quiz show for young school kids. We had to stop it during COVID, but it was a great opportunity to talk to young children. And maybe next time I should have a quiz question. Who is the youngest published author in the country? And who knows? The answer could well be Eshanvi. So congratulations, because you might well find yourself on the next round of quiz to be the youngest to have been published. I'll also tell you why I think it's very special that a 10-year-old should do what Eshanvi has done. This is the Instagram age. This is the age of social media where you're supposed to write everything in 280 characters. My children once showed me something called Snapchat. Now I didn't understand what it was because the photograph went off inside a minute. But apparently that is the magic of the times in which we live. Everything is instant. It's here today, it's gone tomorrow. Now in this age, very few people therefore, particularly of Eshanvi's age, seem to spend enough time in actually putting together something which can be remembered even 5-10 years from now, a book. This is not the book age. When we grew up, many of you here, we used to think about it. We didn't have mobile phones, we didn't even have internet, so we actually wrote letters to each other. You know, in Hindi they say, प्यार होता था खत से. You know, old Hindi films or even Telugu films, I'm sure, the romance was over letters. Today no one writes letters to each other. They're all on the mobile, talking to each other or doing FaceTime with each other. As a result, the art of writing, the art of communicating through words is increasingly being lost. I had actually started this quiz program to encourage young people to at least read newspapers, to maybe watch the news. Some of them do, but the truth is many of us don't, or many of our children don't. Many of the adults also don't. You see a family now across a table, each of them is looking at their mobile. None of them is actually talking to each other. They have very little time to actually talk to each other. So Eshanvi has reminded us that there is a world of letters that still exists. And I think that's what makes this book special. When we grew up because of Enid Blyton. And there were books like Famous Five and Secret Seven. Then another generation came up which grew up on J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter. Now maybe you can start a series called Mysterious Mayhem. And every year bring out a book which can tell us something about the mysteries of this world. As I said, for a young girl to do this is quite remarkable. To have it illustrated, and you've illustrated it very well, is even more special. Because I think when you tell a story to younger people, they want the story through pictures. Now Enid Blyton was an adult, J.K. Rowling was an adult. For young people to tell stories to the young, excited people out there makes it even more special. Let me also say that, as I said, when we were growing up, we had Amar Chitra Katha, and that was also illustrated. History was illustrated. So the illustrations make your book, Eshanvi, even more special. And I think there is the innocence of the young in your book writing which makes it special, that you actually imagine all these lovely stories around you. And all of us actually have one story in our lives which we should tell. Each one of us is capable of telling one story. Some of us may tell it in 500 words, some of us may tell it in 100,000 words, but we all have stories because we allow our imagination to run free. I'm also glad that you've done this because we are finally in this audience without masks looking at life beyond COVID, hopefully. For 2 years, we were all stuck to each other. But I think in those 2 years, while we were stuck at home, we remembered things like family. We remembered that we could talk to each other. Otherwise, we were all living in a world far apart from each other, but we were brought together by COVID. Which is why I think, Eshanvi, it's not just you today who deserves big credit. It's your parents who perhaps deserve even more credit than you for encouraging you to do this. I saw a program last night. It was a program on Netflix of the great racing driver Lewis Hamilton. And Lewis Hamilton's father was there. And Lewis Hamilton's father, and there were old pictures of young Lewis Hamilton doing go-karting at the age of 10. And Lewis Hamilton's father says, I saw in my child the potential, and I saw that my child dreamt of car racing. My job was only to give wings to his dreams. Your parents, Eshanvi, and I know your father in particular is a driving force, as I'm sure is your mother, have given wings to your dreams. And therefore they deserve a huge amount of credit, because without your parents and without all our parents in a way, we would be nothing. As young people, we often forget all too easily what is the debt that we owe our parents, because they are the ones who in a way inspire us. So when you go home tonight, remember to give them a special kiss and affection for what they've done for you, to bring out and encourage you to bring out this book. So all I can say at the very end, may there be many more wings that will enable you to fly, write many more books, explore your creativity, and who knows, one day you might be India's answer to Harry Potter. So all the very best to you and your lovely friends. Thank you very much once again for having me here. I feel a little old in this gathering, and that's good. Because when your grey hair and I see all these young, excited faces, it's always nice to be among the young. Because when you're among the young, you can also get inspired to be youthful. All the very best. And yes, do start reading newspapers also. And read the news occasionally. You don't only have to know what film stars are doing. You can also know sometimes what your politicians and others are doing as well. So have a great time. Thank you very much once again. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for... That message was truly wonderful. And thank you for the reminders, the simple reminders. It's also inspiring to learn that you're inspired by the young. So then we can get inspired by them and speak to the old. On that note, it is now time to introduce to all of you and showcase the journey of what has transformed this little girl from a regular 10-year-old girl to a girl that has authored a book at the age of 10. It's been an incredible 2 years, right? Ladies and gentlemen, here's the journey that's taken Eshanvi from Eshanvi to Eshanvi, the author of Mysterious Mayhem. As you can see, she's immersed completely in all of these books that she's been reading. That smile shows how much she's enjoying it. I think this is her typing out the draft. Is that correct? Are you typing out the draft? Wow. This is the President's Award for Educational Achievement that recognizes students who show outstanding educational growth, improvement, commitment to or intellectual development in their academic subjects, which was awarded to Eshanvi. And this is the handwritten draft of Mysterious Mayhem. Before this happened, that happened. And the end there signifies this beginning. Isn't that absolutely amazing? Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome with a warm, loud, unstoppable round of applause, the author of Mysterious Mayhem, Eshanvi Kessireddy, the girl of the hour. Come up on stage, come up. Welcome. Absolutely amazing. Let me shake your hands, please. Awesome. Here you go.
Hello, everyone. You know, I never imagined in my wildest dreams that one day I would become an author. Until now. Firstly, thank you so much to each and every one, especially Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai, Nikhil Uncle, my loving grandparents, my family members, my relatives, my friends, my parents' friends, and everyone. I'm super overwhelmed with happiness and I feel uplifted and amazing. Frankly speaking, I was a bundle of nerves before I came up to speak, and I've had butterflies in my stomach since the day I found out that there are going to be so many people here. To all the people here, I'd like to briefly talk about my journey. Since I was a little girl, my mom used to read me a lot of bedtime stories, which actually ignited the reader in me. As I grew up, I started to read so much that now I have a library of books. Some of my favorite books include Wonder, Daughter of the Deep, and many, 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 many more. R.J. Palacio, which is the author of Wonder, according to me, is an amazing author because she made me believe that not all people are bad. I also love how she writes from different perspectives. Like this, there are so many other authors that I think really highly of. The books I like, the authors I admire, and the recent years of pandemic kick-started my journey of becoming an author. I started drafting my story in December 2020. It started off as a fun task, but it gradually turned into something big. Stories led to chapters, and chapters led to creating a book. The characters, the setting, the entire plot of the book occurred to me as I was engrossed in it. Many times there were days when I had writer's block, but my mom and dad motivated me and kept me on my toes. I was a mix of emotions on this journey. Happy, tired, elated, frustrated, and finally overjoyed that I was ready with the first draft. Then came in Miss Meera, the mentor who helped me transfer my book into the final draft. I'm always going to be so grateful to her. Later, my father informed me that this book was going to be published, which by the way I thought was a joke. But it wasn't, because here we are. They've always been super supportive. This has been my journey until now, but I realized that this is just the beginning. Yes, I plan to write more. Meanwhile, I'd love it if you all got a chance to read my book and support me in my endeavor to become an amazing author. Thank you.
And what about me? Awesome. All right. So we'd love to request, both Eshanvi and I would love to request your undivided attention because we're going to talk about some very, very cool things and what brought her from going from an avid reader and a voracious reader to now a published author. Okay? So Ishu, when did you decide that you were now going to write a book? What was that trigger?
So I decided to write my book in December 2020, and I love to write and read. And the reason why I wanted to write this book is because, first of all, reading is my passion, and I love to write because you can use your imagination and you can create your own stories. And partly the reason why I wrote this book is because since there's nothing to do with in COVID, I decided to write a book.
All right, everybody. There was nothing to do in COVID, she says. How many of us wrote a book or did anything else during COVID? I know for one, I treated it as summer break. Literally treated it as summer break. So that's pretty cool. And a lot of the books that you've been reading, you know, when in your speech you mentioned that you have these few favorite authors and then many, 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 many others, right? Which one of these authors are you most inspired by?
I have many, but one of the authors I am inspired by is Malala, because even after she was shot in the head, she never gave up.
Mm-hmm. That's really interesting. So, do you read a lot of the books, or do you read Malala's writing? Do you read a lot of that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's in the non-fiction space. Okay. So you like to read non-fiction as well.
Yeah.
And what about fiction? What's your favorite title in fiction, or is that a tough one?
That's very tough.
If you had to name your top 3 most favorite books.
Like I can name one.
Go for it.
It's Daughter of the Deep,
Daughter of the Deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, in the book, it tells that girls can do anything.
Girls can do anything.
Yeah.
Woo! Clearly, clearly. And there's this other book you were telling me about sometime back.
Wonder?
Yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit more about that as well.
So
It's called Wonder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the message in the book is that you can never blend in when you're born to stand out.
Let me repeat that, everybody. You can never blend in when you're born to stand out. And that's a beautiful message. That's a powerful message. Does that inspire you in any way? Does that
Yeah.
message inspire you?
Yeah.
It does. And was that one of the triggers or prompts that got you to write this book? Was
Yeah.
that something that inspired you?
Yeah,
Amazing.
definitely.
It's so deep, it's so profound. It's amazing how something that profound resonated with you at your age, because it's something that I think can resonate with everyone that's sitting here. You can never blend in
When you're born to stand
when
out.
you're born to stand out. Let's remember this one line, everybody. All right, you can never blend in when you're born to stand out. And I think you're turning that into a fantastic example today. You said that you had the writer's block,
Yeah.
right? How did you sort of overcome that?
So basically, my mom and dad encouraged me to continue writing even when I didn't want to.
That's
Because
beautiful.
I lost all my ideas at one point.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
So, your parents, you had a lot of support from your parents?
And also from my brother.
From your
because
brother? Okay.
He playfully gives me ideas. And yeah.
Can we hear it for Dhruvi? Let me actually, I'd love to ask Mr. and Mrs. Kessireddy, was the coming to life of this book mysterious mayhem? Was it a lot of mystery and a lot of mayhem to actually get this book out? Or was it a lot of mayhem? Lovely. As she's saying that, you know, this wouldn't have been possible without the support from all of you. Do you in any way think that, or what do you think about being a published author at such a young age? Does that mean anything to you as such? Or you know, or it's like, whatever, okay, just the first of many?
Like, I got inspiration from this other book. I forgot the title, but another person like my age, like 11 years old, also wrote a book. So then, like,
Wow.
no.
That book inspired you. Someone your age writing a book
Yeah.
also inspired you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What's the name of this book?
I forgot.
You forgot. Okay, no problem. That's fine. You said your biggest support system in bringing this book to life has been your family, right? When your mother's always been reading to you ever since you were a little, you know, baby, what books or what kind of stories really fascinated you? What are the genres that, you know, you sort of started leaning towards more in terms of reading?
I love thrillers, I love mystery, I love suspense.
Thriller, mystery, suspense.
Yeah.
And is Mysterious Mayhem, you know, does Mysterious Mayhem have elements of all of these three? It does?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, are you curious? It's got mystery. It's got, what else? Thriller? It's a thriller.
And also it's an adventure.
And it's also an adventure book, an adventure story. So if you have, I think this Sunday evening after the event is over, you all can go back home with one of these copies and make sure you spend your Sundays reading about Mysterious Mayhem. All right, just immerse yourself in this. It promises to be a thriller, a mysterious book filled with suspense and adventure. And who are the main characters of the story, Ishu?
So there's Mia and Sophie, and they go on a vacation to Florida, but they end up in Chicago, and you have to
Whoa.
read to find out more.
Okay. You have to read to find out more, is what Ishu says. Okay. Amazing. We all know how COVID-19 has been an important part of your life. I was actually going to ask you that, but you used that time to, you know, bring this book to life, write this book, right? You read, you write. What else do you enjoy? What are your other passions? What are your other callings?
I like to sing, I like to dance, I play
Wow.
the piano,
Oh,
and I love to do art.
so essentially everything that is related to expression.
Yeah.
Yeah? Drawing, music, dance, what else?
Singing.
Singing. That's absolutely amazing. And what about like your core subjects in school? Do you have a favorite?
No.
You don't have a favorite subject in school? So you're interested in all of these expressive activities. That's awesome. And do you play music and everything on a day-to-day basis? Do you
Yeah,
sing? Do you play
I play
music?
the piano, and
Beautiful.
I'm going to my second grade in theory, and I'm doing my first grade exam in piano.
Wishing you all the very best as you progress from one stage to the next. Is there anything you'd like to say to everyone here? Is there any message?
If you dream big, you can achieve those dreams.
If you dream big, you can achieve those dreams. And one last question before we, sort of let you go. Do you see yourself writing as you grow up? Do you continue to see yourself as an author? What's going on in your mind?
I mean, I'm already started my second novel, but I also want to do other things like singing and art and stuff like that. But yeah, so.
You've already started your second novel? Whoa, slow down, Ishu. Just kidding. You're giving me a complex. Do you want to share with everyone what your book is about, or do you want to keep that like a secret?
Like secret.
Secret. Okay, so we'll wait for the book to come out. But before you get off stage, I think it would be wonderful for everyone here to maybe listen to a little bit of your story. What do you all say? Would you like to hear a little bit of the story? Yes? Okay, so let's give it up for Ishu, and then maybe we can get her to do a little bit of reading for us. Ladies and gentlemen, give her a thunderous round of applause. That was absolutely fantastic. Okay. Yeah. Where would you be comfortable?
Anyway.
Choose. Are you more comfortable sitting? Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to witness the first chapter of Mysterious Mayhem by Eshanvi Kessireddy. Go for it. So before she begins, I'm going to introduce the characters in her book. Okay? The characters in Mysterious Mayhem that take you on an absolutely adventurous and mysterious journey are Mia. Okay? Can you all see? Mia. And then there's Sophie. Then there is Julie. Then there's Chad and Bob. Chad and Bob are two prisoners who've escaped from jail. Mia and Sophie are two sisters who are going on the vacation. And Julia is a friend that they make. These are the characters that have come together to weave the story of Mysterious Mayhem. Over to you, Ishu.
Chapter 1, Dream Vacation. Finally, Mia McCarthy Mabin, commonly referred to as Mia, gasped at looking at her 4-page article. She slouched in her chair and felt a bit of relief that she had finished her article. Her mom yelled, "Sophie, call your sister." And as soon as she said that, Mia's door burst open. Sophie Mabin, otherwise known as her annoying sister, yelled, "Mom asked you to come down for dinner." Mia used her loudest voice to quiet her down. Okay, I'm coming. Just please don't shout." After saying that, she raced down the stairs. "Kids, I have some exciting news," said Mia's mom. She paused dramatically with jazz hands and continued, "We're going to Florida." Mia and Sophie couldn't contain their excitement. They screamed and hugged their mom, and before they knew it, they started jumping crazily. They had always wanted to go to Florida because it was their first plane trip ever. They both glanced at each other with a spark in their eyes. It was going to be the most sensational trip ever, and they had no idea how correct they were.
That was awesome. Eshanvi, that was great. Can I request you to please stay on stage? Thank you. It's not going to be so easy to get off the stage today. And I'd like to invite both our chief guests, Mr. Sardesai and Mr. Siddharth, to please come onto the stage. And Eshanvi would love to present her book to you. Please come. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment, the official book launch. The official book launch for Mysterious Mayhem. Woohoo! Yeah, let me take that. Requesting all our friends from the media to kindly allow all the photographers to please take the pictures first, and then you all can also cover it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your patience. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the book is available to order on Amazon, and all the proceeds from the book will go to a non-profit called T Hope that is started by Mr. Rajshekhar Reddy, Eshanvi's father, that focuses on education for underprivileged children. So when you buy this book, you're also supporting a very, very strong cause that goes towards educating one of India's youngest demographic that can very well be the leadership of the generation tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming onto the stage and unveiling the book. We really appreciate it. And I'd like to now take this opportunity to please invite Mr. Nikhil Siddharth, our other guest of honor today, to please address the gathering. Thank you so much, and we're delighted that you're here.
First of all, a very good afternoon to everybody present here. And it's a very tough act once you have somebody as amazing as Rajdeep Sardesai sir here speaking. Speaking after him is like is a daunting task. I thought he was enough, but then I had Eshanvi speak after him, and Eshanvi did an amazing job, like hitting the ball out of the park. So I am very nervous for the first time speaking on stage now. So sir, we have always grown up watching you speak, sir, and a lot of our vocabulary has come from, like, some of it has been picked up from you too. So you're an inspiration. And when I look at Eshanvi today, I'm reminded of myself. I mean, don't think you'll become like me later on. But I'm reminded of my 11-year-old self, because as I was just saying, Enid Blyton was the bread and butter, for every kid back in the 1980s, 1990s. So my first book was, I still remember it as 5 Go to Billycock Hill. That was the famous 5 book which I read, which was given to me by my mother, and she encouraged me to read. And from then on, I always had this burning desire to write too as a kid, but I couldn't. So now when I see you, I can say how privileged you are to get this opportunity. And as you said, your family has been very supportive, Eshanvi, especially Divya Garu and Rajana. We call him Rajana, Rajshekhar Reddy Garu. So both of them have been very supportive, and I'm telling you this, you are very, very lucky to have this opportunity, and you have made full use, because I've gone through this, I've gone through the pictures, I've read part of it. It's beautiful. So the first reviews coming from me, guys. This book,
thank you,
is a hit. Mysterious Mayhem is a very good read, and I would have enjoyed this. I enjoy this even now, so I must have enjoyed this as a kid. So all of you go get your copy on Amazon, and you already have just heard that all the proceedings are going to go for a very good organization called T Hope, which I am happy to be a part of also, because Rajana has made me a part of it too, and it is a very good cause. So every single rupee that you're going to spend is going to go for education purposes for the underprivileged. I cannot say much more, but the only thing I can say is that telling stories is a very is a very noble job. So through movies, I try to do my bit by telling stories too. So good messages, as you said, and I really love this message which you talked about, Eshanvi, about if you cannot blend in. If that was the thing. How can you blend in when you are born to stand out? So I truly believe in that. And every single book of yours, I'm sure, is going to give a message. And I try to do that through my movies, and Sir does it every day through his wonderful opinions and news. So I'm really proud that you've achieved this, Eshanvi. I've seen you as a kid. I know we played cricket together and all that, but I never knew that you were this brilliant. So congratulations again. And this should definitely inspire more kids to come forward and not just blog or vlog. I think that's good too, but sometimes also think about writing a book and putting your thoughts on paper through a pen. So it's a very powerful medium. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nikhil Siddharth. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Nikhil Siddharth. His next movie is called Kartikeya 2. It's a film on Lord Krishna, right? And it's also mysterious. So do catch it, do watch it. A lot of the mystery themes today. While you were speaking about, sparking that inspiration because of what Eshanvi has done, Mr. Rajshekhar was just sharing with me that her cousins, 3 of her cousins, Deni, Divya, and Aditi, have already been inspired to write. So wishing all of you the best on this journey, all right? We can't wait. Wow. You've committed to write and we can't wait to hear your stories, okay? All the very best. I'd like to now thank you for your speech and also check with members of the media if there's any questions you'd like to ask the author, Eshanvi Kessireddy, at this point. If there's anyone who'd like to pose any questions about the book related to her process, her journey, we can do that now. Anyone in the audience, would you have any questions that you'd like to ask her? Anything that you'd like to say to her? Any messages? We can take those now. All right, thank you so much. Now we're going to have some games. Where are all the children in the house? Please come to the front. All the kids in the front. All right. Okay, kiddos, are you all excited? Okay, you all are coming onto the stage. Wow. Okay. That's fine. All right, everyone, we're going to play. Okay, are you all ready? Can you all hear me? All of you, can you hear me? All the kiddos on the stage, can we hear it for all of them? Okay, so all the games we're going to play today, alright, you have to listen to me very keenly, everybody. I'm going to come in front of you so you can see me. Check. Okay, you have to listen to me very keenly because all the games we're going to play today are based on the book. Do you all know the book? Do you all know the story? How many of you know the story? No. Everybody doesn't know the story. So what we're going to do is, because all of you don't know the story yet and you'll know it later, we're going to make the games very simple. Okay? The first game is to tell us the meanings of the words that you hear. Okay? And these words are taken from the